So, to begin with, I'd like to introduce myself and the company for which I'm working. My name is Janne Pietäinen, and I'm working for a company called Nokia. We are a Finnish company, about 1,500 people, something like that, operating in a number of countries. Finland, obviously, Sweden, United States, China, Russia, Norway. And we're a Qt Alliance partner and also doing quite a bit of Qt trainings. This slide is just to illustrate that we've been working on Qt for quite some time, doing different kinds of projects on different areas, embedded systems, mobile, software, pretty much everything. Myself, I started working on Qt in early 2008, around the same time that Nokia acquired Trolltech. So let's have a couple of words about the objectives of this training. We aim to get a high-level understanding of Qt on Nokia platforms. That means that while we do try to go technical enough so that you have you can easily go and start experimenting, developing your own applications, we don't go very far into details. There are other training tracks for that. And as was said in the opening session, you will be able to view those other more in-depth tracks as well in a video form. We'll cover basic ideas, basic practices, basic tools, and we'll try to find out how to learn more. What are the sources for information on this area? Such as websites, built-in documentation in the SDK, things like that. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask, but I'd ask you to raise your hand, and the lady behind there will come and give you the microphone so that your question will be recorded as well. Okay. So the contents of this training is divided in 4 parts. First, there will be introduction to Qt on Nokia platforms. Mainly, we are concentrating on Qt Quick in this area. How to build UIs, what technologies will be available, things like that. And there will be a short introduction to Qt Quick and QML itself. Once again, we don't go very far into details in this area. Then after lunch, we'll have a section about outstanding UIs, how to design UIs for these devices. And in that section, we will be concentrating on Qt components as our tools, how to build your UIs using Qt components for implementing your application for example, Symbian smartphones. Then we'll have a break, and after that, the third session is getting the most out of the device. What we are going to cover in that section is Qt Mobility APIs on QML, how to use Qt Mobility APIs from QML source code, and how to implement interworking between QML and C++. And that's one of the important parts of the whole QML, Qt Quick. And then after a break, we'll have the fourth section, which is the demo implementation. The 3 first sections will be mostly lecturing, so I'll be showing you boring slides, talking boring things, but then in the 4th section, finally, we'll get to see some actual code, some actual implementation. There's a small demo application that I'll be introducing to you, and you will be able to get the source code as well. It'll be in our repository, and I'll show you the URL in the 3rd section, I suppose. And we'll implement some parts of that demo live here to give you some idea what the workflow is going to be, how to use the components, and we can also discuss those things. Okay. So, let's get started with the first section. We have about 15 minutes of time, and there are plenty of slides, so I'll be a little bit fast with this, but I think it's going to be okay. So, we'll start with overview of Nokia platforms. So, what is Qt? This is probably something that many of you are familiar with already, because many of you are probably Qt developers. Actually, let's ask the question. How many of you are developers? Could you raise your hand, please? Excellent. So, how many of you are already familiar with Qt itself? Pretty much everyone. Okay, well, I'm still going to go through a short introduction, just a few slides, few words about the Qt itself, because not everybody raised their hands. And basically, if you are not familiar with Qt, it's a good idea to try to check some documentation. Mainly things that we are going to cover on this training are QML, but it helps if you know something about how the meta-object model in Qt works. So, first of all, Qt is an application framework, and really it's full application framework, not just the UI. And that means that you will be able to implement full applications, mainly just mainly just Qt. In addition to native widgets for the UI, you are also able to use QML for building your UI. And that's what we are going to focus on this training. So we won't be using the native widgets, but we will be using the QML, because that's basically what the intended UI approach is for Nokia platforms. Qt is open source, it's cross-platform, and it comes with a nice set of tools. There's a number of technologies that you are able to use with Qt to easily utilize, to implement your application so that it embeds, for example, web content, interacts with that content. Take advantage of OpenGL, take advantage of QML, things like that. They are easy to do using Qt, and they are easy to use in a single application. With Qt, you can target diverse platforms. You can target them with minimal efforts. Minimal platform-dependent implementation. Okay, granted, you're going to, most likely you are going to need to do some differentiation between different platforms. For example, implement platform-specific user experience. This is because, in general, if you are targeting, for example, Nokia platform, you probably want your application to feel native to that platform. To follow the user interface design guides implemented by the vendor of that platform, so for example Nokia. An application for desktop environment might be slightly different, but there's a huge amount of code that can be shared. The native code Qt itself, for example. And we'll see how to do the platform differentiation as easily as possible in QML. one key points in Qt is that you can utilize native APIs as well, meaning that while developing your application can be quite fast, using QML, for example, for fast development, you're still able to access all the platform-specific APIs should you so choose. It might be that you are not encouraged to do so. If there is an API available in Qt, it's of course a good idea to use that Qt API, but if you absolutely need to, you are able to access native APIs of that specific platform to do some things that might require workarounds or something like that, if it's not supported in Qt. Okay, with Qt you are able to implement really nice UIs with very little effort. We'll see how that's done when we take our introduction to QML. And finally, what you get with Qt is a nice set of tools. We'll cover these shortly in one of the upcoming slides, but there's nice integrated development environments, some really powerful features as well. So then I have just a couple of pictures of Qt-based UIs, Qt-based applications on mobile devices, just to show that it's quite easy to implement flashy UIs using Qt. There's an OpenGL-based experimental user interface in this. Well, it doesn't seem quite natural in this static picture, but the UI in that case is in constant motion. It's alive. And that's something that was developed by Digia. And also there's the connected car IVI demo, also from Digia, that demonstrates how to implement a nice UI for embedded use in the automotive industry. So let's talk a little bit about Qt on mobile devices. I'm just going to show this whole picture because that's just easier, but it's a bit slow. Sorry about that. Okay. So Qt provides a unified API for your application. That API is built on top of native APIs that are platform-specific, but Qt does an amazing job in hiding those differences. And as mentioned before, Qt also enables you to still access those native APIs if you really need to. What we can see here is number of Qt-related words. The Qt itself as a layer here, including all the Qt modules that are included in Qt. But then we also have Qt mobility APIs, which is something that's it's a part of Qt these days. It provides you access to a number of features that you can usually find in mobile devices, such as sensors, things like that. Orientation, NFC, ability to access contact details. Huge amount of APIs. Then there's Qt Quick that's used for user interfaces. As mentioned before, we are targeting using Qt Quick for the whole UI. So we don't need to use Qt widgets themselves, just Qt Quick and QML. And then there's Qt Quick Components, which is something that's, at the moment, a little bit specific to mobile. Qt Quick Components is something that gives you ability to use UI components in QML. Previously, what you had to do was to implement your own buttons and other things like that, or go to the internet and find somebody else's implementation. But with Qt Quick Components, what you get is a pre-existing implementation of these buttons that takes the native look and feel of your platform. What that means specifically is something that we'll cover during this training. Okay. Then a couple of words about the versions of Qt that are currently available and in use. We have Qt 4.6 series and 4.7. Now, 4.7, more specifically 4.474, is the latest stable release. And obviously, that's something that we want to target. That's something that we want to use in this training. We don't go to 4.8 yet, but why do we have 4.6 in here? Well, the reason is that there's still a number of devices that support Qt, but they don't have 4.7 libraries available. There's a number of older Symbian devices, S60 third edition feature pack 1, starting from there. And those come with, or Qt 4.6 is available for those devices, as is Qt Mobility 1.0. Then when we go to a bit more recent devices, S60 5th edition, Symbian 1, and Symbian 3 devices like recent 700, 701, N8, others. Then we go to the more recent Qt as well, 4.7 series. That also gives us access to Qt components, for example, and Qt Mobility 1.1. Now, something I'd like to mention at this point already is that in the demo part, we are going to be using Qt 4.7.4. So if you want to try the code yourselves on your devices and you have your devices with you today, you may need to upgrade the Qt version in those. Officially, 4.7.4 is not available for Symbian ANA devices yet. But when you download the SDK and install Symbian Bell packages from there, you will be able to find and install 4.7.4 packages to older Symbian 3 phones as well. So that's just a heads up if you want to prepare your devices before we go to the actual demonstration. Okay, so Qt and Symbian 3. Symbian 3 is the latest Symbian platform. The devices that are using Symbian 3 come with Qt pre-installed. And the latest Symbian 3 release is called Bell. It's not available for all devices yet, but eventually it will be. The idea is that all these Symbian 3 upgrades will be made available for existing devices as well. There's a number of devices such as the ones that I mentioned, like 701, 700, N8, also E7, C7. I might be using for demonstration AC7 or N8, I don't know yet which one I'll be using. And others that are currently on market. and that's a large number of devices. There's also older devices. I already mentioned that Qt devices, Qt support on Nokia mobile devices goes back to S60 3rd edition feature pack 1. And that's pretty old devices. They support Qt. You are able to build your Qt applications for those devices. However, many of those old devices, they don't have touchscreens. So you'll have to design your UI completely differently. Also, the screen is going to be quite small. As Jukka already mentioned, the bulk of these devices and the bulk of people who are buying applications in Office Store, for example, are using more recent devices, Symbian 3 devices, for example. So probably what you want to do is to target the touchscreen-based devices, the devices that you can use Qt 4.7 series on. And that means that you should start from Symbian 1, meaning S60 5th edition devices. And that, if you limit your application to these devices, that gives you about 100 million devices at the moment out there. And I hear that there's 150 million more to come in very short future. So huge number of devices. Okay, that's about Symbian. But how about these other platforms? There's also MeGo, and there's Maemo. N900, the Maemo device, is getting a little bit old. It has Qt 4.7, but its release is 4.7.0, which is a little bit dated. There are some issues. You can make it compatible with more recent Qt releases by installing this compatibility package on your device, which enables it to run applications that are designed for more recent Qt Quick versions, for example. But we'll come back to that a bit later. Then there's the new beautiful N9 and N950 as well. Gorgeous device, and it comes with Qt installed. And also on N9 you are able to use Qt Quick components to implement your UIs. But as I said before, on this training we are focusing mostly Symbian. This is a rough table of officially supported devices on Office Store. You can go to this link to get more information about what devices are supported. Okay, let's go to the Qt SDK itself. The Qt SDK is once again available for multiple platforms. In general, when you are using Qt, you are able to target a number of different platforms, and you are able to develop your applications on a number of different platforms. I'm pretty sure that many of you already know this. Mainly, the SDK is available for Windows, Mac, OS X, and Linux. There's a number of tools that come with the SDK, like Qt Creator, which is the integrated development environment for Qt. It brings you a code editor, visual UI designer, a debugger with support for on-device debugging as well. It supports desktop and mobile platforms quite well, so you are able to easily and in an integrated fashion build and test your application. And some highlights of the most recent Qt 1.1.3 SDK release, Qt SDK release 1.1.3. First of all, it comes with Qt version 4.7.4, the latest one. Qt Quick 1.1. The Qt Quick is the technology that we will be using for implementing our UIs in this training. And Qt Mobility APIs 1.2. Also, Qt Creator version, this one is a bit outdated. It's now 2.3.1, but that's the latest version. Also, you'll get things like compilers that you need. You get a simulator for trying out your application, how it would look like in a mobile device. One nice thing about the SDK is that it brings you all the mobile targets in one package. So when you install your Qt SDK, you are able to select different Symbian platforms, for example, or MIMO or MeGo, and build your application to those targets. However, not all targets are natively available on all platforms. So if you install your SDK in Linux, for example, out of the box, you don't get ability to build Symbian applications on your computer. But you can use Remote Compiler for that. Remote Compiler is a tool that enables you to build your applications remotely on Nokia's build server. When that's done, then the binaries will be sent back to you. You will be able to install them on your device and try out your application. You will need a Nokia account for using that, but that's not a problem, obviously. I mean, you can just go to developer Nokia.com and register and get an account. Then about deploying your application for Symbian. First of all, you need to make sure that you have the debug agent installed on your mobile phone for Symbian. Well, that's not really all illustrative, but let's assume that you have your SDK installed on Windows. Then you can go to the Start menu. There are two program files, Qt SDK, and find the target, like for example, Symbian 3. And you should be able to see a link in there that you can click on to install your the debug agent on your phone. There are some things that you need to make sure that are available at that time. First of all, you need your mobile phone. You need to connect it to your laptop or your computer. You need to have Nokia Office Suite or similar application installed to take care of communication. And then when you have installed the debug agent, it's called CODA. You need to make sure that you have it running on your mobile phone. And then the phone is able to communicate with your SDK. Your SDK shows a little icon that tells you that it sees your phone and that it's able to deploy and execute your application in your device. We'll see a demonstration about that. Do you have a question? Can we have the microphone, please?
As far as I have experienced, this works nicely on Windows, but I don't think it works on Linux, does it?
You mean the
installation of the coda and all that stuff?
No, I don't think it's quite that easy on Linux. First of all, there are not those. There's not going to be those targets, but you can still find the actual package and send that to your device and then install. Then again, the whole integration of the Symbian device and the SDK, I don't think that works on Linux anyway.
It's perfect on Windows, but
yeah.
Not to talk about on Linux.
It
simply doesn't work.
Yeah. For that reason, what you need to do is to use the remote compiler if you want to use Linux or Mac as your primary development workstation. Yeah. You need to use the remote compiler to build your application remotely and then install it manually. You can send it by Bluetooth or by USB or whatever. It's.
But you still don't have the coda on the device, and that's what.
No, I mean you should be able to find the coda as an installable SIS package in the SDK. And then you can just copy that to your device and install it manually. So in Mac and Linux, I'm a Linux developer myself, but in Mac and Linux, you have to do a little bit extra work, see a little bit extra efforts, but it's worth it. The environment is much nicer than Windows, in my opinion.
That's it.
Okay.
That's the reason why I installed a Windows, because I couldn't run it on Linux.
Yeah, it's a little bit more effort, but.
Fully documented.
Okay, how about Harmattan MeGo device, the N9 and 950? First of all, you need to make sure that your device is in developer mode. There's a setting in the settings that you can access to enable that mode. Then you need to connect your device using the USB cable, for example. That's the easy way which I've been using myself. When you're using a Linux workstation in this case, which is where I've been working myself, MeGo development works quite nicely, whereas Symbian does not. So in Linux environment, you are able to take full advantage of the SDK integration also on MeGo devices. That's quite nice. Okay, but when you get your mobile phone connected to your laptop, you need to make sure that you have the SDK connectivity application launched in the device. This is roughly similar to the debug agent coda on Symbian devices. And you need to create a new device configuration and start using that from the settings. There's a wizard for implementing this. It's a slightly, well, the process itself takes a number of steps. So make sure that when you go through them, PNGs, you read all the views
JPEGs and SVG.
well and
SVG
understand
scalable.
what you are doing.
So I would
You
guess
need to
that,
deploy public
maybe
keys
Illustrator does
that you can generate as part of
SVG
this process to your device
maybe,
to make sure that your
it will
SDK
export
and the
as
device are
SVG
able
elements,
to communicate.
and they would work. But
seamlessly.
vector and being a designer, mostly a vector designer, that's what mostly
I
do.
think we
There's a
should
lot
be
of
able
things that
to
can
go through a
can go wrong
demonstration
there
of that
'cause we apply a lot
later
of
today.
After Effects and filters, and none of them will work. I would expect them to export them as
one
images.
more thing,
and
one
do that.
more interesting feature that's enabled by Qt SDK. is remote device access. This means that you are able to try out your applications in actual devices remotely. You don't need to have all the devices available. You don't need to have a huge library of all different Symbian devices, all Linux-based devices, things like that. You can just go to this web page right here, click on a few links, and hey, then you will have access to a mobile device. At the moment, there are about 50 different device models to use. A number of different devices of each model.
When
so you can what you can do is to go on that site, reserve one of the devices for your use,
playing with the
and then
because
start using it.
It's easier, and in a way, it's easier to fiddle with the things. There's lots.
Okay, so that's it about the platforms. How about the Qt Quick itself? I've mentioned Qt Quick a number of times during this introductory section, but I haven't really opened what it means. I know most of you are familiar with Qt, and I assume that many of you already know Qt Quick, but still we are going to go through a short introduction to what Qt Quick is and what QML is, and
working on a computer.
Finally we are going to see
I would guess that the designer would be amazed.
a demonstration
like the first time
of
when
a simple
I did these things, wow.
QML
I'm a
UI.
coder. No, I'm not. Stuff like that.
Qt Quick is a declarative UI technology. The term itself comes from Qt User Interface Creation Kit. It was introduced in Qt 4.7, so it's relatively new technology. It was available as a separate add-on first, but it's part of Qt itself right now. QML can be opened to Qt meta-object language. This is the one that I've seen in Nokia documentation, at least. There are a couple of different variations, like Qt meta language or Qt modeling language, but this is the one that I like to use. It nicely illustrates the fact that many of these features that we are going to be using with Qt Quick are based in Qt meta-object model. So we have QML. QML is the actual declarative language that's used for describing your user interfaces. Then we have Qt Declarative, which is a C++ module, a part of Qt itself, that provides mechanism for hosting QML UIs. Basically, it provides a runtime for script context. Yes, that means that your QML UI is essentially script language implementation, JavaScript in this case. So this technology, Qt Quick, it's not aimed just for developers. It's also aimed for designers. This means that when you design your user interface in QML, you don't really need to know all the technical details of the actual application. You don't need to know C++. You don't absolutely need to know JavaScript. It helps if you know some JavaScript, but to design just the UI, how it looks, you don't need to know much. Just how to describe the UI using QML. And that's something that's quite easy to learn, quite easy for a designer to learn. And this is a mechanism that can be used for bringing designer and developer closer to each other. to be able to work in a more integrated fashion.
But you need to refactor the code. That's what I mean. You can't keep the code as it is.
There is a tool
But don't change it.
integrated into the Qt Creator, the designer, that's also able to
the design on the loop of the things
visually
Of course.
design
if you're going to
QML
componentize
UIs.
stuff, explain him.
In addition, there's
I've just removed that a little bit into a new
plugins
component.
for
Its name
a
is
couple of well-known graphics applications, Photoshop and GIMP for Linux and others. And there's a plugin available for those that enables you to take a layered image in those editors and to export that as QML UI. That's something that you might be able to take advantage of in certain cases. I don't promise that it's perfect, but it's an interesting development. So to go a little bit more into details of QML and Qt Declarative. First of all, QML, as mentioned before, is a declarative scripting language. You use it to define the elements in your UI. That's not really so JavaScript-like, but then you can add functionality to your UI using basically something very similar to JavaScript. Well, you can implement nearly full applications in just QML and JavaScript, but we'll discuss that option a little bit later. Might not be a good idea. This code is interpreted at runtime. It's not compiled. That means that you can implement interesting dynamic user interfaces, creating new components runtime, instantiating them at runtime freely. That's JavaScript. And you don't need C++. You don't need to know C++ to get started with QML. The Qt Declarative itself, Qt Declarative is, as mentioned before, a C++ module. It contains the QML runtime. The runtime is able to host QML UI. It provides a number of mechanisms that you can use for implementing communication between your C++ application and your QML UI. And that's something that we are going to discuss in detail later today. This is really one of the important parts of using Qt Quick. Okay, I have a couple of examples here. These are something that you can go and find on the internet. Just here as examples of what kind of UIs have been implemented using these technologies. First of all, there's Float, which is a Digia product. It's a social networking application aimed at things like following up on artists, music genre, things like that. Then there's the something that we saw earlier, the connected car IVI demo, also available on the internet, and you can find some videos about all of these on YouTube. Then these three examples come from the Qt Quick Playground example. There's a number of applications that demonstrate how the UIs work in when they are implemented in Qt Quick, and what kind of things you can achieve. It's really a good idea to go, if you're not familiar with Qt and Qt Quick, it's a good idea to go and check this example, build it, and play with it, because it illustrates what the idea is, what you can achieve on desktop, what you can achieve on mobile, things like that. What kind of dynamic and modern UI approaches you are able to implement. And the last one is, well, it seems like a web page. That's because it is a web page, but it's running, the web page is being displayed in a simple application that implements web browser using simple Qt Quick elements. And there's a nice feature in QML that there's one element that provides you a basically web browser element, able to display web pages and that you can control from other UI elements. Okay, let's go to development tools. First of all, there's the Qt Creator that we discussed already. It has full support for QML, and the designer that I mentioned already is integrated part of the Creator. There's also another tool, QML Viewer, that enables you to try out your QML UIs or parts of your QML UIs without an actual C++ application. So that's something that you can use for testing quite easily. You don't need to compile your application. Just load your UI in QML Viewer and try it out. It's also available for mobile devices. I don't go into details about these links, but there's a number of sources for information that are available. Also, as mentioned in the opening speech today, there's a number of educational material made available by Nokia on their web pages. And those are pretty good resources as well, so you should go and check those out. Okay, next what we have is an introduction to to QML. There's a little bit of source code, but I think what we are going to do is that we'll end this section now, and when we come back after lunch, we'll continue from here and go through the example of QML. It doesn't take a long time, so it doesn't really throw our schedule off that much.